where I have problems. You know, that we say, well, it's okay here, but it's not okay over here. You know, my point is that we ought to be consistent with how we do those things, and that we shouldn't have these kinds of exceptions.
I agree. It should be district-wide for all the kids, and not at all. Like the second question.
Go ahead.
I forgot what it was now. So all the this is the easy one. So the really beneficial, the real savings that are coming out from closing Shell Point is not really the 44 saving a year. It's going to be sale of the property. And isn't that sale or rent of the property more, doesn't that belong in the capital improvement section, not an operating cost? I mean, that's really an asset the school has, and it's kind of like commingling the funds. If you take that process, I mean, in the pure sense of this, taking the capital gain from selling the building to pay for operations and for losses, we use the referendum to build schools. The referendum to add out to build schools wasn't saying we build schools and close schools, and that's how we get the amount of money. It seems to me like we're just taking from capital gains, from the capital improvement section, and throw it in operations if you sell the building or lease it. And that seems to be the only really value of closing Shell Point is valuable land.
Well, I think the value is that we make some permanent savings for the budget.
But I'm not in favor of that, because we're making permanent backward steps in kids' education, because Shell Point is proved it's different. It's proved it's a different school. It's proved that it's done better than Broadwood Elementary.
Well, we disagree.
And you're going to have less parent input to go to Broadwood Elementary, because you're losing sense of community. Sense of community is something, just like Marilla said, if something's dying in America for centralized learning complexes, and Broadwood is a perfect example of that.
Well, I would certainly hope that the parents who are active at Shell Point will be active at Broad River. And I don't only hope it, I fully expect it. I can imagine, I have to believe that because of the emotion around this and the turmoil around this, I would fully expect that the Shell Point parents are going to get deeply involved in what goes on at Broad River.
Yeah, because it just doesn't make any sense, and it's helpless. Emory's finance are often built in the different communities. They're new sort of. There's a certain amount of history and the way this place is grown up. And this school's been here for over 4 years. It deserves to stay. It's a great building. What's the maintenance on? We spent $2.5 million on it. If we're going to do this, should we plan ahead and not throw it to them? Well,
if we planned ahead, we would have built Battery Creek High School out where Whale Branch is. Okay, right. We would have built Kusol on the land on Springfield Road, right, that we own, right, that we didn't own at the time that we built Spring. Right. 2020 is great. Hindsight's wonderful.
Sure.
Okay, but it's not what the case is.
No.
Okay, and I don't know how to say that differently.
Right.
If the Cross Island Parkway had been in existence on Hilton Head when I got there in 1986,
right,
we wouldn't have built a mega elementary school. We would have put an elementary school down on the south end of the island, instead of busing everybody to one central location.
Yeah, I know 2020 is a nice thing to have. But
it's a wonderful thing to have. Sitting where I am right now, I'd love to go back 20 years and do some things differently. But
is Shell Point not just put up as a sacrificial lamb to serve the county and give us some more money because we actually close the school to do what we're supposed to do?
Well, I don't know whether they're going to give us more.
School and give us more money.
I don't know whether they're going to give us more money or not. I have no idea. I know that by closing it and taking the other actions, we're making some permanent savings to the budget, which is going to impact on all the kids.
Well, it'll be meaningful. $44.50.
Well, okay, you can use that number, Carl.
It is the number.
But it's.
You gave me $89,000.
But when you put them all together, it's millions, and that does make a difference, to how we educate the students. You can't, and I would tell you that $44 a student is more than we give to the schools in supplies, I believe.
Roger, you have a question?
I do appreciate it.
I've got a kindergarten child at Port Royal, and my son's in 4th grade at Port Royal. And actually, my daughter was accepted to Riverview when we chose to keep her in Port Royal because we love Port Royal. And we wanted to have her in school with her brother for a couple of years. And now I just found out that chances are he's going to be not at Port Royal next year. And my question is, what is the driving force that's just making, why are the kids moving from Port Royal 5th grade to where are we going to middle school? Is it to conform to the other schools, or is there a need for those seats at Port Royal? And is there, so what's
There's not a need for the seats at Port Royal, okay? The driving force for me is to have a consistent platform where we deliver instruction to our students, okay? I know, because I've been there, that 5th graders get treated differently in an elementary school than they do in a middle school, and how instruction gets presented to them. Doesn't matter all the professional development we do or anything else they do. I would also tell you that if we don't alleviate some of that, we're going to, in a case like Mossy Oaks, we're going to be way over capacity in another year, and are going to have to find some place to put those students. Okay, by moving the 5th graders out, there's kind of a bubble going through right now. A lot of our elementary schools, and by putting the 5th graders over there, we're going to have some opportunity to kind of live through that bubble and not find ourselves having to go back and change attendance lines all over the place.
I mean, we have a concern I'm concerned because of what you say. They are treated differently at middle school and elementary. And for me, my son still needs to be in elementary school next year.
I think the simple fact that they're going to segregate the 5th graders is going to give you some assurance to that. Because that's what they've done at Ladies Island. That's what's proposed at Robert Smalls, and the tentative plan I've seen for Beaufort Middle does the same thing. They're not going to be thrown in with the 6th, 7th, and 8th graders.
But then you're changing all these walking kids to Port Royal, and now he's going to be on a bus. I mean, I just hope that, I was hoping there would be, I don't know, to me it seems crazy. He just fought this battle to keep Port Royal open, and now all of a sudden I'm fighting a new battle today to try to keep my son at Port Royal that we just fought to keep open. And the seats are there. You know, why would you send these kids to another school when these seats are there at Port Royal?
Well, like I said, I believe, it's my personal belief, that we need to have some consistency in where we present instruction to students. And we don't need to have different patterns all over the place.
Is this open for debate? Or is this, I heard somebody mention it.
Oh, yeah, it hasn't been approved by the board yet. So there's still going to be debate on I expect there's going to be debate on the board.